News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
News Talk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Slowly but surely, they're cleaning up the mess of that train derailment. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Tuesday, July 8th, 2014. Another spectacular morning in western Montana. It's going to be a great summer week. Highs in the 90s. Right now it's 57 degrees under a clear sky. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Dr. Troy Doxey and the friendly team at Chiropractic Works. For your appointment, call 728-0222. Montana Rail Link crews are slowly but surely removing the massive aircraft fuselages that slid down a steep embankment into the Clark Fork River after last Thursday's train derailment. Spokeswoman Linda Frost says progress at first was tedious.
Things are moving along, even though a little bit slower than we would have liked. It took the entire day yesterday, Sunday, to get the first fuselage out of the river and up the embankment.
Frost describes the method used to retrieve the Boeing 737 fuselages from the river.
We have a cable and we're literally pulling these cars with the fuselage on top, and each one of those are weighing about 70 tons. So we're pulling these cars to the top of the embankment.
Frost expects the job to be finished, hopefully by the end of the day, and that the actual cause of the derailment is still under investigation. A state investigation found West Yellowstone Police Chief Gordon Berger selectively enforced the law, violated court orders, and in some cases either did not know or chose to not follow the law. The full report by Montana's Division of Criminal Investigation remains confidential. However, a Gallatin County judge allowed West Yellowstone Town Attorney Jane Merson to release a summary. Merson's summary says the state found Berger at least twice helped people get Montana vehicle titles for vehicles reported stolen in Idaho. The state also found substantial evidence that Berger did not follow laws on the sale of city property and abandoned vehicles, and that he failed to arrest a felon found in possession of a firearm and did not seize the weapon. The felon was later arrested in Idaho. Berger has declined comment. Montana Congressman Steve Daines received a one-on-one tour of the U.S. Forest Service Smokejumper Center at the Missoula International Airport yesterday. Daines says he wants to change the method by which wildfire fighting costs are paid.
We want to change the way that we fund wildfire suppression. And there's a bill, in fact, we're moving forward with here in Washington that would move it more towards federal disaster here so that we don't keep taking the dollars out of the Forest Service here.
Daines said he and his fellow members of Montana's congressional delegation are actually working together in an effort to craft a better way to pay for wildfire suppression.
We need to come together to get a solution, one, that ensures that we have the adequate funding for the needs of this wildfire season and the seasons to come. But second, we need to continue to work towards reforming the way we manage our national forests to promote more timber harvest, which is a way to reduce the fuel load and reduce the risk of wildfires.
Daines is running for the U.S. Senate against incumbent Democrat John Walsh, who was appointed to complete the term of Max Baucus, who is now, of course, the U.S. ambassador to China. Investigators have not yet come up with a cause for a highway collision between a fire engine and a pickup truck last month that killed all 6 people in the vehicles. Highway Patrol Captain Gary Becker said in a statement yesterday that investigators and crash reconstructionists will be given as much time as necessary to reach an accurate conclusion. The crash happened June 19th near East Helena. Three Forks Fire Chief Todd Rummel was headed east when his fire engine collided with a pickup truck headed in the opposite direction. There were no survivors. After a lawsuit, new warning signs, and a lot of public discussion, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks has decided to reopen this section of the Bitterroot River to floaters. FWP spokeswoman Vivica Krauser explains.
That section between Woodside and Tucker fishing access sites is open again. It's been closed to floating since mid-April. This is the stretch of river where the supply ditch diversion dam is, and it's unsafe to float over that dam at any time. And so what we've really been working on in the last year is increasing the information out there to floaters on where to stop, pull their boats over, and portage or walk around the dam.
In 2013, a 6-year-old girl drowned after her raft was flipped near the dam. New warnings have been put in place.
Last week, we put out additional signs upstream at access sites and then also along the river to warn boaters when the dam is. So there's a sign a mile up, a half mile, and a quarter mile above the dam, and then one that points specifically to that portage location.
Krauser says FWP is working on a permanent solution. Right now, though, the river is so high that a western channel is actually opened up, allowing floaters to go past the dam altogether. A 24-year-old man drowned at Brown's Reservoir on the Rocky Boys Indian Reservation. Hill County Sheriff Don Bronston said Thomas Edward Bernard of Box Elder drowned last Friday. Bernard was last seen about 5 p.m. Friday. Bronston says Rocky Boys police called the sheriff's office at about 8:30 p.m. The drowning still under investigation. Well, the Lolo Peak Brewery has only been open since July 4th, but the business has already been victimized by burglars. Missoula County Sheriff's Department Public Information Officer Paige Pavallone said the burglary took place early Monday morning between 2 and 4.
Lolo Peak Brewery, which has just been open for a few days, had 2 suspected juvenile males enter the establishment, install several $1,000s, nearly $5,000 worth of equipment, camera equipment, computers, and I guess essentials for running the show there.
Pavallone said the 2 individuals were actually inside the brewery for 2 full hours. Pavallone says the quality of surveillance video is poor, but technicians are working to clarify the images. Until then, Pavallone's specifically looking for help from residents of Lolo.
So we don't have any idea who these suspects are, so we're reaching out to the Lolo community specifically. And if anybody has any information about who these juvie males might be, contact the sheriff's office or submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers.
Burglary is a felony that can carry a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. The number for the sheriff's office is 258-4810. You can also contact Crime Stoppers, 721-4444. Our rural fire chief says fireworks likely caused a fire that destroyed a home in Belt over the weekend. Belt Rural Fire District Chief Travis Johnson told the Great Falls Tribune that the call came in at 12:30 in the morning on Saturday. The house was fully engulfed when firefighters arrived. Witnesses said the fire started on the roof of the Cedar Shake House and that people had been shooting off fireworks in the area. Johnson said the older home was a total loss. The homeowner and his dog did make it out of the home safely. And Montana regulators are holding a public hearing to help determine whether Northwestern Energy's $900 million plan to purchase 11 hydroelectric dams is in the public interest. The Public Service Commission has scheduled 2 weeks for the hearing starting next Tuesday, or today rather, at the state capitol. Northwestern announced the deal with current owner PPL Montana last year, saying the dams will provide an affordable long-term electricity supply for customers. Commission Chairman Bill Gallagher says he's heard concerns about the sale price and the higher electricity bills that 342,000 customers in the state will have to pay if the deal does go through. The PSC must give its approval for the sale to move forward. Our News Talk time now is 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Sunshine and hot temperatures. Highs today will top out in the low 90s. We'll see air temperatures reaching into the mid-90s on Wednesday with an isolated thunder threat. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13, your first alert station.
Thank you, Brooke. A gorgeous morning in western Montana. It's clear and 57 degrees in Missoula.